Adding multiplayer to your game is more of an advanced task, but in this video, I'll try to provide simple steps that you can take to achieve that with visual scripting using Bolt. Multiplayer is a big topic and there's a lot of things that can be different from game to game. But in this video, the two things that I'll show how to achieve is getting the player to move around in the multiplayer setting and also to allow the player to launch a projectile. I do have a health system in the game, but I'm not going to be converting it to multiplayer in this video. So with that, let's get started. This is the start of the project. So I just have a tank that can drive around and I can launch projectiles. And the projectiles, once hit something, they explode. And also if the tank is close to explosion, he also gets some damage. Now, if you want these assets, I'll upload them on my Discord server under resources, so you can download them there. And the first thing that we need is the system that we're going to use for setting up multiplayer. And the easiest one that I know of that you can set up with Bolt is Photon. So that's what we're going to use in this project. So we can go to their website, go to documentations, and for products, we're going to use the PUN. And that stands for Photon Unity Networking. Now there's a free version and also a plus version. I'm going to be using the free version. So you can click on Get PUN 2. And that's going to redirect to the asset store. Inside here, if you haven't used it before, you can click add to my assets. But if you have it in your assets already, you'll have open in Unity. So you can click that, open in Unity editor, and it should open inside the package manager. If you can't find it, you can go to package manager and make sure that my assets is the one that is turned on. And you can search for it, just type it in PUN. So after you found it, you can click import. The package comes with some demos, so if you don't want those demos, you can disable them, but I'm just going to leave them all import. After the import is done, we can run the wizard. So you can find it under Windows and go Photon Unity Networking, and right here, PUN Wizard. Click on that, and that gives you these options right here. Now we need to go to the cloud dashboard and create our new project. I already registered with Photon, so that's why I get the dashboard right away, but if you don't have a login, create it. And you'll see the same thing in your dashboard. So now we can create a new app. And for Photon type, we're going to use Photon PUN and we'll name it 2D Tanks. Click create, and that will create our new app. So the thing that you need is this app ID right here. So double click on it and copy it, go back to Unity, and we want to go to setup project right here. Click on that, paste in your app ID right here and click setup project. After you run the setup project, it's going to pull up the Photon server settings. And in here, you can expand this server cloud settings and make sure that you have the ID real time pasted in here. If you do, that means that configuration is successful and we are done with the wizard. One thing you can do to see more logs on Photon, you can go to PUN login right here and select a full log, and that will create more logs in the console and you can see what's going on when you're using it. So with that, we're done configuring Photon. And now we can add Photon to Bolt. So let's go to Tools, Bolt, and Unit Option Wizard. And in here, we want to add Photon Unity. So search for Photon Unity Networking. And also we want to add Photon Real Time. That's the ones that we're going to use in this video. But also I'll need to add a Cinemachine because I'm going to have to do some settings changes for Cinemachine. So I'll just add that. And in the type options, we need to add 3 types that we're going to use in this video. So the first one, Photon Network. Another one we need is Room Options. And the last one is Player. So that's the 3 types that we need to add. Click Generate, and that will create units that we can use with Bolt. So now that we are done with all the configurations, we can go and create our new game object. And this game object is going to have all of our Photon logic. So I'll just call it Photon. And in this game object, I'll add a flow machine. I'll use an embedded flow machine. And let's go edit graph. Now on start, what I want to do is connect to the Photon server. And there's a unit that we can use for that. So search for Photon network and connect using settings. So this unit right here. And one more thing that you probably should do is set the game version. For the game version, I'm just going to use 1, and you would change the game version in your game when you're changing some things in your multiplayer that might create incompatibility with the previous version. So that's what the game version is here for. I'm not going to be using the update event, so we can remove it. Click play, go to console, and in our console, we can see the logs. So it looks like there's activity on the connection. But to know for sure if we're connected or not, we need to register with the callbacks that Photon has. Unfortunately, the only way I found that you can do that is by writing a C# script. It's a simple script, so let's go and add component. And I already have it created. So Photon to Bolt. We can go edit script and check it out. The script is also on the Discord server, so you can get it there. The only thing that I'm doing in this script is converting these methods into custom event triggers that we can listen on Bolt side. So to do that, I'm using the Photon Pun library, Photon Realtime library, and also Bolt library. And inside this class, I'm overriding some of the options. The only ones that I'm using right now in Bolt is on connected to master and on joined room. I have two more methods here that I'm overriding, but I'm not going to be using in this video. So I actually can remove those. So what the script is doing is triggering a Bolt custom event on the game object. So the game object that the script is attached to. And the custom event name is on connect to master. And the other event is on joined room. That's the script that we need to listen for Photon events. So now we can go back to our flow machine, and in here we can add our custom events. So the first event that we're going to create is on connected to master. And let's actually do a log to make sure that we are connected. So I'll just write we are in. Click play. And now after our game starts and we successfully connect to the server, we get this message we are in. That means that our events working correctly. I'll remove the debug log. And after we connect the server, the next step that we're going to take is to join the room. But I want to also at the same time create a room if a room doesn't exist. So for that, we can look up a Photon network join. So here we have the join room option. And at the very bottom, we also have join or create room. So that will do the check for us. You can call your room whatever you want. I'm not going to be using room names in this video, so I'll just call it room 1. And now we need to pass in the room options. For that, we'll need to create room options. So get this unit. And one thing that I'll change about it is set the max player. So set max player, connect it here. I'll set the max player to 4, and I'll go to Bolt full screen so I can see the chainable option, turn that on. And now I have the room option connections from the output side. Now for the other ones, type lobby and expected users. Those fields are actually optionals, so we can pass in a null. In Bolt, we actually have to pass a null, otherwise it's going to be thrown an error. So this is the way that we're going to join the room. If there is a room available for us to join, we're going to join. If there isn't a room available, then we're going to create it. So in just this step right here. So now let's create another event that we're listening for on joined room. And here, let's add a log, and I'll pass in a string message, and I'll just say we are in the room. Let's click play. And as soon as our game starts, we connect our server and then we join the room and we get we are in the room message. So we're all good. Now we know that our player is joining the room. And now we can go ahead and test out some of the multiplayer functionality. Now for that, we need to go to the tank. And for a tank, I'm using rigid body 2D. So if I want Photon to be tracking the position of the tank and updating it across the multiplayer, what I can do is go to add component. And in here, what I'm looking for is Photon. And there's the main one, the Photon view. Now the Photon view has the logic for ownership, who owns this object. But if you want to pass in the transform information, you also need to add a Photon transform view. In my tank, I'm actually using a rigid body instead of a transform to move the tank. So for me, I need to actually add the Photon rigid body 2D. After we add this component, you can see that in the Photon view, there's an observer component that was added, and it's the tank Photon rigid body 2D that we just added. So it created that connection automatically for me. If it didn't create that connection automatically for you, you can drag and drop it inside here. Now inside the Photon rigid body 2D view, currently it has the synchronization of velocity, but I'm also using the angular velocity in my game, so I need to check that. And right here at the top, it has the enabled teleport for large distances. I'm gonna enable this as well. So with those settings, we can actually go and try to build and run the game. I'll create a build folder and I'll build it inside there. Select folder. After the game launches, I get the Windows security alert because the game is trying to access the network. So I'll say allow access. And now we can drive around here. Everything seems fine. And we can click play in our Unity as well. So as soon as it starts in Unity, it just follows the tank that I already have. It's not creating a new one. It's just using the scene that was created from the master. And in the second one, you can see that when I'm controlling that tank, it's actually not updating anything in the master. But when I'm updating in the master, it's actually updating in the other one as well. So with that, we can see that the connection is working, but now we need to continue with the setup. The next step is for us to instantiate a tank once you join a room. And for that, we need to remove the tank that we have in the scene already. Before I do that, let's go and make sure that I apply all of the settings to my prefab and remove it from the scene. So I have the bullet and the tank right here, but the requirement for Photon to instantiate, we actually have to put it in the resource folder. So let's go and create a resource folder and move these objects inside there. Now with this setup, we can instantiate in the tank. So let's go to our Photon script. And after we join the room in here, I'll leave the log for now. And the next step would be to instantiate. So we have to use the Photon network instantiate instead of the Unity instantiate, because we need to make sure that the instantiation happens on both sides. And for the prefab name, we just need to pass in the name of our prefab, which is tank. The position is going to be at 0, 0. For a rotation, I'll use the quaternion get identity. And for data, I need to pass in null because it's an optional field. So now we can go click play. And as soon as the game starts, we get our tank. But you can see one issue right away is that the camera is not following the player. So let's go and fix that real quick. So inside the flow graph, after we instantiate the object, what we want to do is set the cinema machine to follow the game object. So pass in that game object as an input, and we need to find the virtual camera. So I'll just use game object find, and the name of our virtual camera is right here, CMVCam1. So I'll just put that in, and that should solve the camera follow issue. Let's click play. So we have our tank created, and now our camera is following. Now, if we run it on the multiplayer right now, we'll get into the issue of us controlling both tanks at the same time. And that's not what we're looking for. So to make sure we're controlling our own tank only, we need to go to our tank, and inside of our movement logic right here, right before we start doing the calculation and everything, we need to create a branch. What we're trying to check here for is to make sure that this object is actually owned by us. And there is an option that we have is mine on the Photon view. And since our tank has the Photon view, we can just access it like that. If it is mine, then I actually want to run the logic. That means I have access to controlling it. Let me select both of these nodes. And now I want to do the same thing on the bullet launch. So let's go here, and on keyboard input, also we'll do the check, make sure that it is mine. And after that, we'll let the bullet fly. Now we still need to replace this get instantiate with the other one. But for now, let's run it on the multiplayer and see how it's going to work. So here's our build version, and let's also launch it in Unity. And you can see that there's some collision going on once the second player joins, and it's because both of the players are spawning at the same spot at the same time. So now we can control each tank separately, but you can see when I'm shooting the bullet in one scene, it's not affecting the other player. And that's why I said we need to change the instantiation of the bullet as well. So let's go to our tank, and inside of our shoot bullet script, we need to switch to use Photon network instantiation. So for the name, we'll pass in bullet. We're going to use the position and rotation, same as we used for the other instantiation. And here we also need to pass in null. Now for bullets, you probably want to use object pulling, but I'm not going to cover it in this video. One more thing that we need to do is go to the bullet, and inside the bullet, we need to add the Photon view. And also my bullet is using rigid body 2D as well. So we'll add rigid body 2D. And now we'll enable the synchronized angular velocity and also the enable teleport. With that, we can build and run it. So here is our first player. Let's add another player, our second player, and let's add a third player, a fourth player. And when we create a fifth player, you can see that the player actually doesn't get created because we're not able to join the full room. So we're not handling that in our code. So that's why it's not doing anything. But with our 4 players, We can actually move every single one of them around. Everyone can shoot the bullets, and everything looks like it's working correctly. Now there's lots of more things that you have to do to this game to get it working, but this is where I'm gonna stop for this video. If you want me to create another video about multiplayer or some specific topic, let me know in the comments, and subscribe to my channel. Click on the notification icon so you won't miss the next videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.